Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Yuri on YouTube again with the GT Coalition. Today we're going to be checking out another bike in my collection. It's the GT Zaskar Elite. This was made back in 2013. Another airplane. Hang on. It's This is raw footage of me doing my bike review over an airplane. There's going to be a few more, I'm sure. But anyway, I ended up buying this bike, this GT Zaskar Elite, made from 2013, used off eBay. I've had the bike for about, I think, maybe closer to 5 years than 4. Anyway, let's go over some of the specs on this. When I purchased the bike, there were some parts on it that weren't, that I have swapped out. One are definitely they came with Alex MD rims, and I'm not a big fan of them. I had, from previous bikes that had Alex rims, from around, the 2013, 2014 years, just horrible wheels. They'd always come out of true. So I just decided to go with some Shimano 29er wheels. I also bought off eBay. It's quick release front and rear on here. And I managed to get those cheap. I always run tubes in my tires just because one of the things is I'm always changing out tires, and so I haven't decided what combination I want to run yet. But I also do trials on my stuff, so when I do any kind of trials riding, if you do side hops, you can rip the bead off the rim, and there goes your day. So that's one. I must have picked a peak period for planes. Anyway, moving on. I decided to go with it had a rigid seat post, but because I wanted, I like having a hardtail that does almost everything for me. Like, it's a generalist bike, so if I want to hit the dirt jumps, I want to do dual slalom, cross country, whatever, the hardtail is always my go-to bike. One thing I did swap out, of course, because you want, when you're doing dirt jumps or going off drops and things, is it's nice to have a dropper post. So I swapped out the rigid, put this on, and also another thing that I did is it came originally, this bike, the previous owner had this really nice cushy Specialized saddle on there, and I decided to just get rid of it. I wanted more of a little bit of a sleeker look. So you'll notice in some of my bike videos coming up, I either run Pro Logo, WTB, or some GT brand saddle, and it's just because those are saddles I'm really comfortable with, or they came stock with the bike, and they're in good shape, so I don't need to replace them, and they're comfortable enough that I've kept them. So there's that. Other things that this bike does have are Formula brakes. I think I do like Formula brakes for the most part. These are the RXs, but maybe, just maybe, I'll end up running the MT5s because I've been riding my bikes with the MT5 brakes, and going back to a system where it's a single pot brake, and just having been so accustomed to them, it just doesn't feel like the same. Like, these don't feel as great anymore. So I think it's an upgrade that's going to come on this fork. Another thing that that's on here still, that is the RockShox Recon. This is a 100mm travel fork. It's OEM on this bike, it's stock. The other thing I've done is, I always love these grips. These are the Race Face Half Nelsons. They're tacky in any weather. And I got tired of the bar end plugs, the plastic ones, so I just went with these. You can find them for cheap. Sometimes you can find them at a local bike shop, and if you can go through them, just support your local bike shop. And they're not going to be that much more. Plus, you get to find out really about what your store has in stock and build a great relationship with them. The other thing that I've done is I've just kept this as a 2x10. I don't think it's necessary for me to run a 1x system on here, and it's just because I have friends who aren't into mountain biking, but they want to do a casual ride. And so what happens most of the time is they invite me, and since it's just a casual organized road bike ride, it gives me the option of just running a bigger gear. But if I'm doing long climbs, then I can do I can shift to a smaller granny gear. And since I'm not running a big, 42 tooth, I think it's a standard 36 in the back. I just find that it's just nice to have this option up here for a variety of reasons. Also, another thing that I've kept on here that's no, actually, no, I haven't. Is the XT drivetrain's the same. My flat pedals. I love flat pedals. People are like, oh, it's not efficient for racing, but I just like having fun. I think that's what it's about. Another tire that I've kept on here, the Maxxis Aspens. They're really good tires. I have so many of these. I don't know if these were the original ones that came with them. So, but I've come to like them a lot. So that's why. Up front, it's still the Altera handlebar and the stock Easton stem on here. So I've kept it. I'm comfortable with it, and I've just left it as is. I think when that time comes where I should replace the spark because of how hard I ride, I'll probably go with a Chromag. That's my other standard kind of go-to handlebar that I like to go with. But the frame size on here, I should have mentioned, I'm 5'6" with the 32 inseam, and this is a size small. I have a lot of clearance on this bike, and weight-wise, it actually, without the seat post and a rigid, with this configuration, the bike, amazingly enough, sits at 22 pounds. It's exceptionally light, even with these kind of parts on it. So I'm not running like XT or anything, or a SID fork up front, but it manages, even with tubes, to stay at roughly about ballpark 22 pounds, which is close to my Carbon Pro my Zaskar Carbon Pro that I've done a video on. And we'll just wait for this other airplane to clear. And so really I actually own this is one of 3 Zaskars I have. I nickname it the Mini, and the reason for that is it's just so I know which bike I'm going to use or I can reference. So I have my Carbon Pro, and I call it the Super, and that's just because it's super light, it's super fast, super fun. This one's the Mini because it is the smallest GT Zaskar that I do own in my fleet. I have a size medium Carbon Zaskar Comp, and I actually use that as my kind of just local cross-country bike for a lot of races. So it's a really straightforward, easy, kind of clean designed bike. Many of you on social media may have seen it because I'm always doing an upgrade or parts change out on it. And I call that one the 9 because it's just a 1x9, so I just call it the 9. We got one more plane. So you might ask, like, just kind of looking at the bike, who's it really made for? It's a great cross-country bike, hands down. But if you're looking for a bike, just an everyday trail bike, this is a fantastic bike too. So if you find a bike of this vintage, you can totally get something of that. You can totally buy something like this if you're looking for an everyday bike or even a cross-country bike. It fits a lot of slots. So, it's actually, out of all the bikes I own, this is one of my favorite bikes, one of 2 favorite bikes, this bike and then my Super. So they're just fantastic handling bikes. This one I actually have a lot more confidence on riding just because it's aluminum. I'm always concerned that I'm gonna break something carbon just because I have cracked carbon frames in the past. So that's why this is kind of my go-to bike. If you ever see it at races or something, it's probably because I wanted to just try some tricks out. But I think the next upgrade on this bike is going to be the Magura brakes, and we'll see how that turns out. But as for now, This is Yuri with the GT Coalition. I'll do another bike review. I'll probably do an on-ride review at some point with this bike and then kind of talk about what it's really great at and what have you. But for now, stay tuned. I'll have other bikes in my collection I'll go over. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you later. Bye.